Hey guys, you are watching Jett Plays. I'm Jett from inthirdperson.com, a website about video games, board games, comic books, and other nerdy pursuits. And today on the docket, we are playing Fire Emblem on the Wii U Virtual Console. This originally came out on the Game Boy Advance in the early 2000s, I believe 2003, I could be wrong. Sorry, not prepared with the fact-checking here. We've just got a little bit of talking. I don't know if you guys want to watch this or not. Maybe I'll just vamp for a little bit. Fire Emblem is one of my all-time favorite video game series, and even one of my all-time favorite Nintendo series. At times, I've flip-flopped on whether I like Fire Emblem more than Mario. Like, I hold this series in that high of regard for how brilliant it is. And I've been on board with Fire Emblem since, I wouldn't say the very beginning, because the beginning of Fire Emblem started in the early 90s / late 80s on the NES in Japan-only titles, and I think the first 6 or 7 never made it to North America. Uh-oh. Okay, this is tutorial stuff. So, for the purposes of this video, I've gone back to an older save. I have beaten this again on the Wii U. And I actually tried to make a video for this earlier, but I had issues with sucking. I died repeatedly in the video, and I didn't want to mess up my save. Oh, okay. So he wants me to move him first. So yeah, this is an older save on a somewhat easier level. And so let's get this party started. Boom. So how did I discover Fire Emblem? It was the early 2000s, and I was a big fan of Advance Wars. IGN was the... Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's do that. I was already a big fan of Advance Wars, and when Nintendo said we're making another game like Advance Wars, but different, I said, okay, take my money. I loved Advance Wars so much that if you were going to make anything like Advance Wars, I'm all in. And so, Advance Wars and Fire Emblem share the same general idea in that they are turn-based strategy games, but the differences kind of end there. The difference, I mean, the biggest difference is that Fire Emblem is more of a role-playing game in that, man, these guys just whiz around the screen really fast. Okay, that's just for me. That's fine. Is that Advance Wars, it's a military game with disposable units, so you are just making infantry and tanks, and people don't have names or faces, you're just kind of... And he's traveling really fast. Okay, that's fine. Can this guy hurt me? No. They're just disposable units. Units will die. Units will come back. Or you'll just make more of them. Whatever. In Fire Emblem, these are characters with names and faces and stories. And if they die, they are gone forever. You don't get access to them for the rest of the game. And the game kind of rubs it in your face at the very end if certain people didn't die. I mean, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but this happens in every Fire Emblem game. If a character dies, the ending's just like, well, this person got killed in action, so we'll never know how their story could have ended. I'm sorry, this walk speed is killing me right now. Like, for my purposes, it's not show animations and backgrounds, game speed. Is this? Oh, okay. Alright. It's normal. It's just weird that how quickly they're moving. It's throwing me off. I don't know if I'm holding a button down or something. Anyway. So, people die, and the stories are good enough that you get very vested in these characters and their livelihoods, and they level up as they go, so you want everyone to max out to the best of their ability, and you want to come up with the strongest team. So that's always been the big appeal for me, of leveling up these guys, recruiting the right people, and then maxing them out to their true potential. Some characters, and it's funny because you can play the game multiple times, and you're probably not going to get the most out of every single person, because, you know, roster spots are limited throughout from level to level, and so you're going to pick a certain group of people to invest time in, and yeah, certain times you'll invest in a certain group of people that turns out really well, and then the next time you play through the game, you'll pick other guys, and they end up doing really well. So there's definitely replayability in that if you are a nerd about tracking the stats. Or, I mean, managing character. Oh, that's not good. Okay. We need to get at least this guy here and make sure he's armed with a lance. Yeah, let's get Ken out here too. Lynn. So I think those distinct changes make Advance Wars and Fire Emblem very different games that don't feel much alike at all. And between the two, I would take Fire Emblem in a heartbeat. And I love Advance Wars, I still do. But I just think Fire Emblem has grown so much more than Advance Wars. Advance Wars is kind of in a rut where Nintendo didn't really know what to do with it. They ended up making a second DS game that was really dark, really dark tone, and I didn't like that one that much, and it didn't feel right, but then I didn't really know where they could really take that series from here, so they've kind of shelled it for the time being, and Fire Emblem has kind of taken off. The last Fire Emblem game did tremendously well, sold I believe over 1 million copies worldwide when they were only expecting to sell like 200,000. So glad to see that this series is still kicking it, because it's otherwise just a super niche game. Sorry, my voice is getting a little raspy. I just did another Let's Play just before this. Go check out the Captain Toad video if you haven't watched that already. Let's see what we got here. So we got Axe Guy coming up. Okay, move her here. No. We'll just kind of move her, hang around here for a bit, and it's gonna get blown up by one of these guys. Wizard Guy can go here. Okay, we'll leave it at that for now. So we'll get you up here. Dorcas can stay there. You can go here. You can go here. That's a turn. Let's see what happens. Yeah, of the fire... Oh man, I have the wrong sword for her. That's okay. This is just for the purposes of this video. This Fire Emblem game, I think it's still really good. It holds up. I think the series has definitely made improvements over time. I think especially Fire Emblem Awakening, which I think is the strongest mechanically. They added 2-on-1 combat. The support system is way better, to the point where it's so important in that game that depending on who you pair up, you're going to get different babies who travel back in time, who have different skill sets. So, I mean, that's a very specific story conceit that I don't know if it's going to make it in future Fire Emblem games, but it was really neat to have in that one. This one, it's a little dated in the way that the shop is handled. Like, you can only buy weapons in-store, like, within the level itself, which leads to some really awkward situations where you could go for stretches where you don't have the weapons you need, or just don't at all have weapons at all if you don't manage it right. So they've cleaned up stuff like that. Saving, they've cleaned up, definitely for sure. In the old days, you couldn't save from turn to turn. Or at least... Oh yeah, you can suspend. Yeah, the saving was pretty limited. It doesn't... The saving is specifically designed in a way to not let you cheat death. Yeah, they don't want... Like, once people die, like, that's it. You can't... You can restart the level, but you can't, like, hit reset and then go back to your save state mid-level and then have people not be dead. I think they've changed that. It's one of the things they've changed. But also the biggest change in Fire Emblem Awakening is that you can play it in casual mode and turn permadeath off. And for me, I have a controversial stance on this. I know a lot of traditional Fire Emblem fans love permadeath, and it makes you play very honest and thoughtful because you don't want people to die. I've beaten Fire Emblem Awakening like 4 or 5 times, and I've beaten it both hardcore and casual modes, and I've beaten it on harder difficulties. I prefer to play with casual mode on. So in casual mode, people don't die. If they get defeated, they just go back to the base, and you can use them again next level. They just can't fight for the rest of the current level. I prefer it that way. I find that death is disruptive. Like, sure, you could just carry on with the game, but I don't want people to die permanently. Like, I get more enjoyment out of leveling these characters up to their full potential versus being a master tactician on the battlefield. So, the way I prioritize it, it just works out better for me that I play it on casual mode. And not to say that I couldn't beat it on hardcore mode, because I've beaten every Fire Emblem game multiple times without having to use that, including Awakening. Not to say that I'm trying to puff out my chest here and say I'm legit. I'm kind of doing that, admittedly. But I think it's just a matter of personal preference. If you haven't played a Fire Emblem before and you pick up Fire Emblem Awakening, which is probably the best place to start for the series at this point, because it's super easy to access on the 3DS, and it's also excellent. So there is that. Though I will say, of the Fire Emblem games, Awakening probably the most mechanically advanced. I still don't think it's my favorite. I mean, there's two things that kind of stick out in my head as not as good, and that would be a couple of things, actually. I didn't think the story was as good as past Fire Emblem games. I didn't think the cast of characters was as good in terms of their stories and their personalities. I didn't find most of those characters as interesting. And the level design was a little lackluster. I think too many of the levels were big open play fields, and the objective stuff was a little basic most of the time. So I would like to see that improve for the next Fire Emblem game, which was recently announced at Nintendo Direct. They announced the latest entry in Fire Emblem. In Japan, it's called Fire Emblem If right now. That might be, I don't know if that's a final name or not, but they've announced that. I'm pretty pumped. I'm admittedly a little disappointed that it's not a Wii U game, because I really would love to play more console Fire Emblem, but it is what it is. I will still play it. I'll probably still enjoy it to death. The fact that it is on a portable system probably just means I'll play even more of it, because it's even more convenient. Man, what's going on here? I'm just kind of routing this guy. I've played so many Fire Emblem games. I'm kind of playing this one in my sleep a little bit, just because it's a little easy, and I'm just rocking these fools with this team right now. It gets really hard. Like, I beat this game relatively recently, and the last boss, oh my goodness, just annihilated me. I came out with... And that's kind of my rule with Fire Emblem, is that I have a strict nobody dies policy until the very last level of the game, and then things usually go so far sideways that I have no choice but to concede, and... That's weird that Hector is in that house. I have no choice but to just let people die for the good of the mission, because I don't want to play it like 800 times over and trying to do a perfect run. So, alright, we're about to wreck this fool once and for all. Okay, let's just move that guy here, and then move everyone else in a position. How far can we go out this way? Let's send this guy here. Just start moving guys up. Yeah, so what else do I want to see in a new Fire Emblem game? Ideally, I wanted a Wii U one. Not getting that, that's fine. 3DS, I guess, yeah, just clean up those things. Better level design, some more interesting characters. More unique mission objectives. And just kind of build on the successes of the last game. That's kind of what I want to see. I think most important, I hope the series sees continued success, because, yeah, these are super niche games that I thought I was the only person in the world playing, and clearly I'm not anymore. But Nintendo's been pretty strict, like reading numbers or reading stories from the Fire Emblem team, or Nintendo's really aggressive in how much they want this game to sell in order for them to make other ones. Like the last Fire Emblem game was heavily considered to be the very last Fire Emblem game because Nintendo said if it doesn't sell X amount of copies, we're just going to kill the series. And that would have broken my heart into a billion pieces, so I'm glad that did not happen. And I will continue to support Fire Emblem any way I can. I know that Fire Emblem Sacred Stones is coming out on the Wii U Virtual Console soon, which I already have. Well, one, I bought the Game Boy Advance version when it first came out. And then it also is a downloadable title on the Wii U Virtual Console if you were an ambassador. That was the only way you could get it. But now they're releasing it again on the Wii U, I will probably throw my money down again, because I'll probably still end up playing it and beating it and getting my money's worth. And also, yeah, I just love the series, so I am a strong proponent of, if you like something, support it with your dollars so that it doesn't go away. I think that was very much my stance with music back in the day, even in the Napster era. Oh, I downloaded a ton of music, but if I really liked your stuff, I was still going to support you with the money, because I'd want people to make more of that. And with Fire Emblem being one of those things that was kind of on the brink for a long time, I felt like that was the least I could do. Alright, this is probably going to be a very short boss fight. Oh! Uh-oh. Okay, he's not going to do much damage, that's fine. Okay. Let's see, can we finish this guy off before... No. We can't do it? No. Okay, let's at least move these guys in a position so we can just route this dude. Oh, Lucius should be way up there. Oh, here we go. This might be able to do it. So, just wrapping things up here as I fight this last boss. This is available now. Okay, he's not going to die. That's okay. Out now on the Wii U Virtual Console. It's under $10. I think it still holds up really well. Of course, the 3DS version is definitely improved on this in a lot of ways. But I get if you haven't played the series yet, and spending $40 on a 3DS game might be a bit much right now. That's cool. You might want to try this as sort of a paid demo of sorts. It's a fantastic game still, and you will get the gist of Fire Emblem. If you don't like this, you're not going to like the new Fire Emblem, but if you do like this, you are going to love everything else the series has to offer. And that's going to wrap things up here, because this guy just got dropped. Give me all them points. Yeah, oh, man, that was a pretty weak level up. Only 2 stat boosts. Ugh. In any case, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this particular video, you can give it the thumbs up on YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Jett for more videos like this, Let's Plays, fighting game combo videos, fighting game match videos, just whatever I'm feeling like talking about at the time or playing. And check out the website, inthirdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, comic books, and other nerdy pursuits. So until next time, you have been watching Jett Plays Fire Emblem, and totally appreciate you guys watching. So see you later.